Okie dokie. Happy Thursday. Is it Thursday? God, I can't remember what day of the week is. So hang on. It is Thursday, December 13th, 2018. Welcome to another Carpe Diem moment, Carpe Diem Live. We need to, I said that so many times, I need to do it. I'm just going to share this really quick with a couple of my pages and groups. And if you'd like to invite any of your friends and family to join us for today's video, please feel free to do so at this time. And then we'll get started here in just a moment. And while I do that, be sure to say hello and, oops, shit, that thing just scrolled away. Hey, Helen, how are you? Say hello and let me know what you're going to have for dinner tonight. Say hello, what you're going to have for dinner tonight. And then we'll get started here just momentarily. I just got a couple of quick shares to do. And we'll be ready to rock. For those of you just logging in, I'm doing the quick share, inviting people to join in. If you'd like to do the same, feel free to do that. And while we're waiting for me to get this done, which should be about 18 seconds away, say hello. Let me know where you're logging in from and what you're going to have for dinner tonight. All right. I think we're ready to go here. Oh, man. Thank you for being patient and doing that. I know it's kind of I think there's software out there too that allows you to share pre-video starting, and I'm going to look into that. It's been on my to-do list to get done for quite some time now, but I haven't got it done, so it needs to be moved up into my priority list. Because I think there's some cool software out there you can do as far as interaction from the side and whatnot. So we'll have to do that, but I don't know why this damn thing's not displaying here. I can see sometimes it does this. Well, hopefully it corrects itself. But anyways, if I've never had the privilege of meeting you before, my name is Jesse Brisendine, and thank you for joining in for today's live video. I really enjoy doing these live videos, and I hope you get a lot out of it. Today is going to be a really, really important topic. And just a couple quick updates before we do that. The calendar is completely full this week for the strategy session that I mentioned yesterday. So I appreciate those of you who jumped on it, and I'm looking forward to talking with you about getting in a coaching program. I am going to open up next week. My calendar is almost completely booked up, but I'm going to open up 2 other spots on Thursday to meet up. So, and then actually I can't do it Friday. So just Thursday next week, which means if you want to dive a little deeper into any of this, you want to talk about getting on board with a coaching session and finish 2018 out strong, but really catapult yourself in the 19. Message me on here, and then we can talk about it. And then I'll put a reminder up later on. But today, what I want to talk with you about is Lisa, Helen, Casey, Jamie. Good to see you all on here. I want to talk with you all about is the ultimate cleanse, letting it go. And there could be a play on words in there. I'm not going to say there is or there isn't, but sometimes I crack myself up when I come up with these titles. But anyways, what's the big picture here? On my personal Facebook page, which if you're not following that, so I'm really trying to put unique content on each of the social media platforms. So that way, if you're following it, you're interacting with it, you're getting some original content. So what I post on my business Facebook page and on my personal one, there's going to be different content. So making sure you're following me on there. And I posted something today, in fact, that went to the fact that, well, I should probably read it so I don't misquote myself, because that probably wouldn't be a good idea. If today were your last day, would you really want to live it holding on to the crap that happened yesterday? Let it go. Let it go. Now, Let It Go is not just a song from, what was that movie, Frozen or something like that, which I still need to see. Letting it go is the ultimate release, if you will. See, so much of our stress, our suffering, our fears, it's unnecessary. It's these instances, these emotions, and more specifically, these meanings that we carry with us from one moment to the next, from day to day. Something happened yesterday where so-and-so did something to me. And because they did it, I'm carrying it in today and I'm already having a bad day. I'm having a bad day, not because the day is bad, but I'm having a bad day because so-and-so did something. And the reason I'm having a bad day is because what I decided in the moment so-and-so did, whatever it is they did, I decided that maybe part of that's true. Maybe so-and-so is a jerk. Maybe so-and-so is just not a nice human being. Maybe so-and-so saw through the facade I had created and was calling me out and I didn't like that. Whatever the reason was. So-and-so did something, said something that made me uncomfortable. And now I'm carrying it with me into the next day and maybe subsequent days after that. And I'm allowing it to influence, dictate, and ruin it. So I'm going to play with a metaphor here. And I hope you can all appreciate the metaphor and understand that this comes from a loving place. And I'm using this metaphor deliberately because it has a powerful illustrative purpose. It's visual. It's kind of uncomfortable to hear. But it's in our discomfort that we can often find the greatest space to create change. So I just hope you can receive it from a loving place too. Let's just look at a day in our life, right? And the things that happen, the news could piss us off. There's lots of things out there that can upset us, our spouses, our partners, our kids, our bosses, our coworkers, whatever Trump is tweeting, if our team won the sports game the night before, who won in WWE? That's a big source of upset for me sometimes. South Park ended last night for another season. And, there's so many things that we can add there that we can respond to, that we can respond in a way that wouldn't serve us ultimately, because it's not so much our response, but it's then that we respond and we kind of latch on to the thing that happened and we carry it with us. So I want you to really think about this for a moment. The analogy I want to use is imagine going to the bathroom, if you will. And then rather than flushing it down, you decide, you know what, I'm going to pick up that little nugget and I'm going to carry it around with me for the rest of the day. I'm going to take it to bed with me when I go to sleep. So I'm thinking about it. So I'm interacting with it. Then I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to immediately pick it up before I even get out of bed and carry it with me throughout the day. I'm going to take it with me to work. I'm going to take it with me to any sort of social things. I'm going to take it to me on a date. And I'm going to carry it with me maybe for another few days, maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months, hell, maybe a few years or a few decades. Anybody on here ever done that? Now, I hope you haven't actually gone to and picked the what out of the what. But play with the metaphor for a second. How many of us have picked up and carried the shit from the previous day with us into the next day? I know I have. And how does that work out? For me, it didn't work out well at all. It was not a good experience at all. I walked around like I had this toxic cloud over me. And it was just like everywhere I went, I just didn't feel good. I didn't feel happy. I didn't feel joyful. I felt off because I was carrying this shit around with me from the previous day. I wasn't willing to let it go. And in turn, because of that, I was making my present toxic. See, the reason that we flush after we do what biology and nature calls us to do is because it becomes a natural release. It's this natural cleanse. We're actually processing the toxins and the waste out of our bodies, and then we're flushing it away, releasing it, letting it go, and then we're not thinking twice about it. I don't know about you, but I usually don't think much on number 2 after I go and take care of it. Do you? But yet when it comes to our stuff in here, what other people do, what we did, how we screwed up, how we embarrassed ourselves, all those types of things, we may hold on to it indefinitely. And we won't just hold on to that one thing, will we? We'll go and we'll pick up more shit from other people and other things, and we'll carry it around. And it's almost like we walk around with a shit sack that we have hoisted over our shoulders, walking around from place to place to place. And some of us even find this as a way to communicate and bond with other people, right? We sit down for a coffee thing and we take our sacks off and we put it on the table and say, well, here's all my shit. What about you? And we start to measure who's got more. And that ends up giving us maybe some sort of temporary reprieve or bonding place in the moment. But it's never, ever, ever going to give us what we're all likely really after in life, which is long-term fulfillment, a deeper sense of love, a greater level of happiness, abundance in life, whether it's financial, emotional, mental, or just overall abundance. And so if we want to get more out of life, if we want to live life in a more pure and fresh way, we have to be willing to let our shit go. We have to be willing to let go of those things that happened to us, because what happened is just that. It's what happened. And what happened is never going to cause you as much pain. And what happened is never going to cause you as much heartache or strife or emotional and mental upset as the meaning you attach to what happens. See, what happened in a moment like that. It's done and gone. What continues to affect you, what continues to rob you of the level of love, joy, happiness, and fulfillment and abundance that you could create in your life is not what happened. It's how you choose to view what happened today. It's the it you're carrying around with you from what happened. The person who cut you off in traffic, they're done, gone, and they're on with their life. They don't know they cut you off probably, and they certainly don't know who you are. But what affects you about that person is your insistence to hold on to him, that selfish son of a gun. How dare they didn't even care, et cetera, et cetera. And then you take that with you. You take the fear, right? And everything else that comes with it, the anger, the upset. It's not them affecting you. It's you affecting you. It's not them causing you problems. It's what you've created in here and here as a result of that experience, that event. That's what's causing you problems. You got to let it go. If you want to experience life at a better and more enriching level than you've ever lived it before, you got to start with getting rid of your shit. Letting go of the stuff you're holding on to, because it gets toxic. And remember, think about that. You wouldn't go after you go number 2, you wouldn't reach in there and pick it up and say, oh, I'm going to carry this around with me. At least I hope you wouldn't. If you do, I'm probably not going to be the one that's going to help you. You might need to reach out to somebody else. You flush it and let it go, and then you don't think twice about it afterwards. Life is going to be challenging enough as it is at times. There is definitely nothing out there in the code of living of life that says you need to make life harder by holding on to the things that happened yesterday. Let it go, and it will radically not only change your life, but it will enhance your life. So I hope this is helpful. Any questions at all about this? I have time for one question, then I got to jump off and host another one of these. Update for tomorrow. I should be on here probably right around this time. I have to double check. It's going to be a little funky with these live times the next week or so. Most of next week I have some friends visiting from out of town, and it's going to be, I'm going to give more of my time to them. It'll be fun to hang out with them. But anyways, I'll figure it out. Shit happens, step over it. I love that. It's a good one, Casey. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, so if you're watching a replay on this, you can post